In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to build a halftone shader in After Effects and use it to stylize 3D text. First, we'll add a stroke to the letter, then apply gradient and glow to the text surface. This is essential for the halftone shader to work correctly. This is our main layer. Hide the other layers. If the hide option is not there, toggle the switch to make it appear and hide them. Now go into the composition. Since this is a 3D composition, Effect, Blending Mode, Layer Style, etc. are disabled. But first, we need to set the bevel style to none and then add a stroke to it. Select the letters. And in the geometry option, set the bevel style to none. Collapse all the layer and go back to the main composition. Now right-click on the layer. From the Layer Style section, add the stroke. Expand the stroke and set the size to 5. And set the color, saturation to 0 and brightness to around 20 to make it gray. Now if you look closely, no stroke apply inside the letters or elsewhere. In order to be able to do this, we need to remove the side section. First, duplicate the text composition and add face to its name. You can label the face with aqua, the text with pink, and the main with red. Now enter the face composition. We can give the side part a color and then tell After Effects to remove that part. Expand one of the texts and in the animate section, then side, then color, select RGB. Now the red color has been added to the side and an animator group has been created. Copy this group and paste it for the rest of the letters. We need to remove this shadow from the color. Collapse the layer and select the layer. Expand them. In the Material Options section, turn off the Aspect Light option. And now the text shadow have been removed. Now enter the main composition and place the face composition above the 3D text. And now we'll remove this red part by adding the color key effect. Select the eyedropper and pick the red color to remove it. The side part was removed, but some of it remained, which we can remove by increasing the edge thing value. And now we can copy the layer style of the 3D text composition and paste it onto the face. Stroke added correctly. You can also paste on the stars. Unhide the layer, then paste. So we added the stroke. Now we need to add a gradient to the face. We need the color palette. Let me import the necessary assets, which you can download. Now select the color palette to use it. We want to give the face a gradient. Right-click on the face and select the gradient overlay. Expand the gradient and select Edit Gradient to change its color. For the top, select here and take an eyedropper and choose the blue color. Now increase the brightness a little. And for the lower part, make it darker. And this is for gradient. Now we need to add inner glow. Right-click on the layer and select Inner Glow. The amount is small. Increase the size from the inner glow, for example about 20. Now we added glow. Let's change the color of stars too. Uncheck the layer and select the stars layer and change the fill color. Now we can add the background. Place the BG file under the layers. It's very big. Right-click on it. From the transfer section, select the Fit to Comp with option and lock it. Now we want to create a white frame behind the text. Duplicate the 3D text layer and add frame to its name. And add the Minimax effect to it. And from the channel, select the alpha option and increase the radius value to about 40 and change its color to white by adding the fill effect. Darken it a bit. Now we want to soften the edges. Add the simple choker effect to it. Now increase the amount until the edges soften. About 50. Now it's soft like this. This is how we added the frame. Now we are gonna add the texture layer. Add the texture file above the layers. And fit it to comp with. Hit the toggle switch and set its mode to overlay. Now we need to remove the texture color. Add the hue saturation effect to it and set its saturation value to 0. It's a little dark. Add a level effect to it. And make it a little brighter by reducing this. We added the texture. Now we want to make the side part gray. This is the side layer. Add the side to its name. Add the fill effect to it. And make it gray. Now we have lost the luminance and details of the text. To fix it, add the CC Composite effect to it. CC Composite lets you reapply the original layer's luminance or alpha after heavy effect like fill or blur. Stencil Luma keep the original light and shadow details while overriding the color. So far, our animation look like this. And now we want to add the Halftone effect to our animation. Create an adjustment layer and name it Halftone. And place it below the texture layer. Add the CC ball action effect to it. Now the text looks like this. The grid spacing is 5, that's enough. Adjust the ball size until the balls are separated. Like this. So now the balls are arranged horizontally and vertically. We want them to be at 45 degrees and there is no option for this. Instead, we can use the transform effect and place it on the top of the CC ball. And set the rotation value to 45. And again place another one below the CC ball and set the rotation value to -45. And now it's what we wanted. Now change its color to black with the fill effect. And add the solid composite effect for the empty areas. Now we need to make the ball smaller. Add the Gaussian blur effect. And set the amount until the center of the ball becomes clear. like this. After this, we want to bring back the original composition to change its mode. We will do this with CC Composite effect. And set the mode to hard mix. It's changed like this. Now we want to remove this blue part. Add the threshold effect to it. That's it. Now soften the ball by adding a Gaussian blur effect. Now change the amount until the ball appears. About 5. Now use the contrast effect to make the ball clear. Check the Use Legacy option and increase the contrast until it's become clear. This way we created the Halftone effect. Now fix the edges by scaling the background. Now set the opacity to 30. They were combined in this way. And for adjust the halftone, for example, for the surface, we change the gradient value. And from the Edit Gradient option, by making it brighter, the balls become smaller. And by making it darker, the balls will get bigger. And the same for the side part. Select the side layer and change the brightness value of the fill effect. And we get this. Now I want to show you the two color method. Set the opacity of the halftone to 100. Add a tint effect to it. Add the color palette to the scene. Now change its color. I choose green and pink. Now make the side color a little lighter to make the halftone appear. Actually, this shader works like this. Let me turn off this layer. I create a black circle and place it under the halftone layer. And I change it to a radial gradient. Now this is how we define the halftone range. If we see it without shader, it looks like this. In the dark areas, the dots become smaller, and in the white areas, they are full. Now we can add halftone around the stars. Add outer glow to them, like this. And for the inner part of the text, if you increase the inner glow size, you can change the amount of the effect. I highly recommend converting the composition to 4K after creating the shader. While lock aspect ratio is checked, change the width to 3840. Now we need to double the size of all layers. Create a null object. Unlock the BG and select all the layers and parent them to the null. And change the null size value to 200. And delete the null layer. Now our scene is 4K and the details are smaller. We want to increase the dot size. Select the halftone layer and set the grid spacing to around 9 and the ball size to 55. To raise the threshold, we need to double the Gaussian blur value, about 15. Now our scene is 4K. Now we want to create the hatching shader. Search for the grid effect and place it under the CC ball action. Now turn off the CC ball. Because the grid effect is placed between the transform, the lines are at the 45 angle, which is what we want. Change the size from to width slider and set the width to 17. And set the border to 15. Expand the feather option and increase the width to about 45. Now to fix this part, lower the Gaussian blur, about 10. Now we need to double the amount of inner glow. From the layer style section, expand the inner glow. You can make it white and set the size to 45. It's better now. So now we need to lighten the side color a bit, that the hatches appear. Select the side layer and make the fill color lighter. And this is it. We can change the shape of the line using the turbulent displace effect under the grid. For example, set the displacement option to twist and increase the size. And this way we can change the lines. Now let's blend this shader with the main scene. But we don't need this effect. Delete this effect and also turn off the tint effect. Set the opacity to 25 and set the mode to color burn. And this is for the hatching shader. A technique you can apply to motion graphic, AI generated visual, and even live action footage. In this animation, the technique is a little different. I used the spotlight from the front to achieve the shadows. And instead of animating the transform, I animated the extrusion. And also, when the letter moves forward, the camera and the light moves backward to show the shadow and depth. Instead of gradients, I got shadow from the moving light. And if I turn off the shader, the scene will look like this. I hope this gave you a new way to think about styling your visual. See you in the next one.